of the major challenges I think one of the major challenges I had, or yeah, well, I wouldn't say currently still facing, right? That's kind of reduced over time. Is actually landing my first role. It's a big challenge. I'll be very honest, because you see, the thing is, the market seems to be very saturated, and there's a reason why this is, right? You see, let me say, in more developed countries, right, or let me say in more developed economies, right, product management, or should I say, product managers are assigned to features, right? You can have like a product lead that leads a group, or more like a set of product managers, right? But in Nigeria, especially like for startups environments, we don't really have a lot of unicorns in Nigeria, right? I think the most, let me say, successful companies we have in Nigeria, when you mention Paystack, Flutterwave, who again is there? I really pay a lot of money like that. I mean, we don't really have a lot of them. But if you go to like places like the US, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, should we even start with the FANGs? Facebook, Netflix, Amazon. So there are companies that can hire product managers like in huge numbers, right? So what that does is that, you see, we have what they call the entry-level product managers, we have mid-level, and we have senior, right? So in the Nigerian market, a lot of people are looking for people that are more senior, literally, right? And that makes it very hard for entry-level guys to even get in the first place, right? And there's no talent pipeline for us in Nigeria in terms of like how we got people that are just getting into tech. Even startups are looking for, once they raise like this, they are looking for ways to more like hire more senior people so that they can scale, right? So one thing that I did let me say, getting out of school when I lost my job was, I mean, not everybody's going to do this. And that's why I'm so into, talent development, talent optimization, is I created a job for myself. I started taking gigs, right? I talk to people, right? Oh, do you have anyone who's building like a product? Can I get on the team? Because one of your major selling point as a product manager is value. You can never underestimate that, right? And it's not just value in terms of what you call, I know products. Product is not like a textbook, because you might be playing in different, what they call industries, right? The industry I've played in prop tech, that's property technology. I'm currently playing in ed tech, right? I played in fintech before, right? So you see, each of these industries have their peculiarities. But one thing that is, let's say, common across board is your ability to actually give value. There is no way you will give me value. I have some guys on my team currently, they are very new guys, but the dynamism they bring to my team, I can never let those guys go. Like literally, I fight for them every single day. When my boss is saying we don't have money, we need to cut them off, I'll tell, no, we are not letting them go. Because of one particular reason. Talent is very, very important for any company to grow, for any company to scale. Because it is very hard to bring new people on the team and now try to grow them, right? So one of the major issues I had getting into the industry was trying to land at my first role. But one major way I was able to get over that was I networked a lot, reach out to people. See, believe me, it sounds sometimes very vague, right? But anywhere you are, so I think someone mentioned that she's currently working in customer success or something, right? Believe me, if your company has a product management team or a product team or a product engineering team, try to make friends in that team and see how you can find your way into that team. Because see, product management is a role that you grow into, right? You grow into it over time, because you need to learn how your software is being built, how it is being marketed, and how it is being shipped, and actually how it is being managed in the market. Because your job as a product manager actually starts not when the product is being developed, but actually when the product is in market. Because believe me, it's very easy to build a product and push it out there, but to make it profitable, oh, believe me, because it is very hard. Like, it is very hard. I mean, you're fighting against the wave, because you have to always look over your shoulder. You need to understand what your competitors are doing. I mean, because if your competitor is like 5 steps ahead of you, you're in trouble. because they might steal even part of your customers. They can take part of your customers. So everybody is fighting for that market share. So there's a pie, 100%. Everybody's just fighting for, maybe your company is fighting for like 1%, or your company is fighting for 5%. So your job as a product manager is to make sure that you keep increasing that market share that your company is taking, right? Because your product is solving a problem for a particular market segment, right? So you want to keep increasing that market segment, because the more you keep increasing that market segment, the more money you make, right? So one of the major issues I had was just getting in. But I can tell you that if you're currently working in an organization that has a tech team, or probably has a product team, make friends there, right? If probably you guys don't have a product engineering team, or you have a BA team, business analyst team, make friends with them. Look at what they're working on, right? Talk to them. What are you guys working on? Can I work on your team, right? Can I work on your team on a project or something, right? It goes a long way, right? For some of us that are not maybe in a traditional environment, that are not into product management, or they don't have a product management team, right? You currently have a job, you can actually use product thinking. You can reach out to me. My DM is open on LinkedIn, right? You can reach out to me in terms of, there's something called product thinking. Product management is a way of life. You are a product. Sorry, I didn't mention this. You are a product. I used to say something, the best product managers are parents. Because the moment, right, I like to more like make children, I like to put them in form of like they are a product. Because when you get married, that is when you start planning the products you want to build, because the product is your child, right? Then you develop your development is, when you guys copulate, then the wife is pregnant, then you start preparing, buying diapers. Those things that you're preparing are more like the vehicles to make sure that when the baby comes, the baby is all right, right? So when the baby is being born, right, now you have to make sure that that baby is successful by sending the baby to the best schools, to making sure the baby has the best food to develop the baby's brain. Because at the end of the day, the baby has to be successful. So you as a parent, I'm not a parent yet, so don't mind me. I'm not a parent yet, but I've been a parent enough to more like understand that product management is more like you are being a parent and you're nurturing the child, right? So the actual job of being a parent is actually when the child is here, not when you've not had a child. It's the same thing for being a product manager. A product manager's work, the bulk of your work, is when the product is in the market. Because a time will come when your product is doing very well. So we have different stages, right? We have the introduction stage, we have the growth stage, right? Then we have the maturity stage where everything is balanced, we are making money, everybody's flexing, they increase everybody's salary. And there is a stage where you are losing customers. At that point, probably you become complacent. Can you guys still hear me? Right? You become complacent and maybe your product team is not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. You'll be losing customers. So there's a decline stage, right? So if you keep declining and declining and you're not doing anything about it, the product will become obsolete. So you will have to more like just take it out, literally. Like you will end the product. Or you can do something to revamp the product and reintroduce it into the market again, right? So I can say one of the major issues I had was landing my first job. Maybe one of the major issues I'm currently having right now is, should I say, sealing out the noise, right? You get online and you browse on product management, especially when you're on Twitter, you see a lot of things. A lot of people advising you on various things and all, right? One of the things that really helps me is having a mentor, having someone to reach out to all the time. I have this really amazing mentor. She's not old, but she's really good, right? So she was one that I reached out to, and she told me, just go and read this book. Don't listen to this person. Just pick 1, 2, 3 people in the industry and listen to them. Don't worry, you will build yourself, because you have something special about you as a person, right? So you don't want to be using people's view to more like model your career. You want to build yourself. And it depends on what you want to be. It depends on where you see yourself being like in the future. Myself, one thing I keep telling myself every single morning is I want to help startups in Africa to build unicorns. We don't have unicorns in Nigeria. We don't have unicorns in Africa. I'm tired of us exporting our talents. I want our talents to stay here and build unicorns. How can I help them do that? And that's why I'm so passionate about talent management, talent optimization. So yeah, I just hope with this few things I've said, I've been able to answer your question, Tai.
Yes, thank you so much. You covered a lot of ground. You really covered a lot of ground, and I really appreciate that. And quick one, guys. He said his DM is open just in case you need to ask questions on product management. Feel free to go to Samuel's DM. Thank you so much, Samuel, for taking that out. Another question: how do you stay motivated? Okay, so you talked about like voices from like here and there, everybody coming to say put their perception or ideas about product management. But how do you stay motivated, maintain your passion when it seems like almost the pressure is getting worse?
It is. Okay. Okay. This question, right? Okay, so there's one thing I do. I mean, this is a personal thing for me, right? One of my course, let me say, strengths, right, is the ability to make sense of chaos. I love chaos. Like when everything seems like it's not making sense. My current company, when I joined, there was no structure. I mean, everything was just everywhere, right? And I don't function well when everything is just everywhere. So my first 3 months, what I spent it doing was just making sense to things, right? I mean, I literally became HR. I took a lot of roles without them asking me to, right? One of the things that keeps me grounded most times is where I'm going to, right? There's this adage about if you don't have a destination, right, you will take any path you see, right? There's sometimes that you will see some very fantastic offer. Some people just walk into your DM and just tell you, "Oh, I'm building a product. I want you to join our team." But the thing is, if you're not grounded, money will keep swaying you, and you will see that 5 years down the line, right? You will see that you belong to everybody, but you need to be able to belong to yourself, right? I see myself 45. I'm probably somewhere in Cambodia working with children, promoting education for all, decentralizing education. I think I'm just spending a little of my time in product management, right? To be very honest, I see myself being an humanitarian, going on humanitarian missions here and there. Like I live it every single day. So anything that does not more like align with my goal, it does not work for me. Like it does not work for me, and I don't get peaceful. That it doesn't move me. And when I'm online, one thing I do is whenever I see that my timeline is becoming 5 things you can do about product management, 8 things you can do about product management, I just close it and I'm out. That's just the truth. Everybody, the noise is out there. Everybody's shouting. Everybody wants to be seen, right? And the reason is that there's a dark side to social media, right? And the social media companies are milking it. They are using it because they want to keep you there. Because if you don't go on these platforms, they can't make money because they make their money from advertisement, right? So the thing is, you have to be able to protect yourself, your sanity. You feel like you're not moving. But the thing is, as I said, if you don't have a destination, if you don't have where you're going to, believe me, there's so much noise out there, and that's just the truth. So one thing you can do for yourself is sit yourself down and ask yourself, right? If I am not where I am right now, right? 20 years down the line, how do I want to see myself, right? Not just career-wise, in terms of some people are not family-oriented. I'm really family-oriented. So these things are very, very peculiar to people, right? But for me, what keeps me grounded is my destination and the kind of life I want to live and the kind of impact I want to make. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So it does. And if I want to summarize that, everything you said is basically have a goal and stay focused.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. If you look out there, there are like a ton of courses, like a myriad of them on product management and all of that. Would you say you took courses, or you started out, you were curious about product management, went online, took a course, or you got an opportunity and then you built from there and then you learned on the job?
Okay. Okay. So one thing I would say is, if you're starting out as a product manager, right? You want to start as a product manager. There's a book I think I can share with you that you share with everybody. The book is called Inspired by Matty Kagan, right? Is one of my mentors in product management in like globally, literally. When you finish reading that book, you will have an idea of what product management is all about, right? The thing is, the reason why I cannot recommend any course per se is that everybody has, should I say, an interpretation of what product management is all about. So believe me, there are a lot of courses out there, even MBA courses. One thing I do is I try to learn, right? I try to learn and keep learning and keep learning. But I mean, I wrote this down basically just so that I would never forget, right? One, the things you need to worry yourself about as a product manager basically is there are four things basically. There are four things you need to more like worry yourself about as a product manager, right? Hold on so that I can get this well. So number one thing is the deep knowledge of your users. You need to understand your users, right? Like you need to understand your users. It's beyond just reading about them. It's more like you talking to them consistently, right? The next thing is deep knowledge of data, right? The thing is, you can't understand what you don't measure. You can't track what you don't measure, right? The reason why you think you're not doing well in life, the reason why you think that, oh, your mates are doing this and you're not doing this, is because you're benchmarking it against something, right? So your ability to benchmark your progress as a product manager against something, or your progress as a product manager against whatever you're doing, is a deep understanding of data of your products, right? Another thing is a deep understanding of the industry you're playing in, right? As I said, let's say you are in the fintech industry or the banking industry, you need to understand how the banking industry works. The last thing that you need to understand as a product manager is you need a deep understanding of the business, right? So there's a difference between the industry or the market and the business, right? I think I've mentioned that before, right? So in terms of like taking a course, there are myriad of courses out there, right? There are plenty of them on Udemy, but I cannot, to be very honest, I can't recommend anyone. But I'll share that book I have with me. I'll share it with Tai or Benedicta so that they can share with you guys. If you're interested in product management, please take your time to read that book. It's called Inspired by Matty Kagan. Believe me, it will change the way you think about products. Literally, it will change your mindset about products. Yeah, so that's I hope I've been able to answer that question.
Yes, thank you so much. So I'd like to ask, does anybody have a question?
Any question whatsoever. It doesn't have to be about PM anyway. I mean, it might be about my work, about my life. It's fine. I use a chat, right?
While that is ongoing, I also want to ask one more question. So while community members are preparing their questions, let me ask you one more question. Okay. So what do you need to succeed in this role in terms of building capacity and networking and all of that? What do you need to succeed in this role?
Okay. I would say constant learning, right? Constant learning, humility, and grit. Yeah, those have been in my hammer, right? Constant learning in terms of, at some point or the other, maybe you're exploring new markets. You need to learn something new about your existing industry, right? So you have to constantly learn and learn. Or maybe you're working with developers and you need to understand how CSS works, or how what do you call it? How you have to do product management if you don't have a project. How you have to do project management if you don't have a project manager on your team. Someone said she's a Scrum Master. Believe me, that also comes in, right? But there's a difference between a Scrum Master and a product owner, anyways. But yeah, and if you're a Scrum Master, I don't think it's. I mean, it depends on how the Scrum team is. My own Scrum team is, I kind of modeled in a different way. But as I said, constant learning, humility. You have to be very humble, and humility comes in this shape. I currently have a 200 level student working on my team. I can mention that guy anywhere. And the reason I can mention Sheyi anywhere and I can recommend him anywhere is because the way Sheyi takes his job, he's very young guy, but he speaks his mind. And whenever I meet up with Sheyi and I ask Sheyi, I need you to, I want to understand this thing, right? Sheyi will teach me as if he's teaching a 6-year-old, right? I mean, you need to be humble as a product because you need to constantly learn from people that are even younger than you, right? So as a product manager, you're not leading the team, you're working with the team, right? You're working with the team, you're not leading them because you can't enforce things on them because they're even, to them, they are subject matter experts. So this is how I see my team, right? My backend developers, whenever there's any technical, decision to be made, I go to them, right? My designers, I don't make decisions for them. I ask for their input. What do you guys need? I mean, how can we do this, right? So it takes humility to take that off me. Like for example, today also there was this demo we had to do, right? Someone else might have just said, "Oh, let me take the shine and take it," right? I had to tell my associate product manager to come and take the demo, right? She was scared, but I told her, "No, take it." My boss was not like, "Oh, is that so person I just presented?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Good, nice." You need to give them the ability to shine, right? Give them the ability to, make mistakes also, right? And whenever you want to scold them, you do it with love, literally, and grit. There are sometimes things don't go the way you expect them to, right? And you have to take it that way, literally, right? You have to keep moving, but you need to keep iterating on. If you make a mistake, learn from your mistake and, correct whatever you're supposed to correct. I mean, and always try as much as possible to make sure that whatever you're doing, your integrity is not on the line. For me, it's a personal mantra for me, right? Your integrity is very important because you might be a boss today, your reports might be a boss tomorrow, and I recommend you, right? It works for me everywhere, right? It works for me everywhere. So your ability to always embody these characters. There is a mantra I also have that skills get you in the game, right? But your character keeps you in the game.
Okay, great.
Right? So your character is very, very important. Your skill, you might be the best guy, right? But nobody wants to work with assholes, right? So sorry I used the word assholes, but yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Problem. Thank you so much. So Ododo is asking that what is the relationship between product management and project management? Can you answer that in one word or one sentence?
Okay, so product management never ends, right? But you see project management, it ends because the project has an end. It has a definite end, right? But you see product never ends, right? And project works with time, money, and timeline. Like it works like you have to work in a constrained, definite. You are using a budget, you're using a particular time frame and all. But for product management, you have to keep scaling it, literally. Like you have to keep scaling. But for projects, it is confined, literally. So the difference between the both of them is that the project manager is making sure that the team is working within a budget and a timeline, whereas the product manager is making sure that the product that is supposed to give value to the customer is being built.
Great, thank you so much. Unoma is asking, how are you able to attain work-life balance? Because there seems to be quite some work and study to do.
Well, how can I put this? Right. Well, it depends on you as a person, right? But time management is a crucial skill for a PM also, right? You have to be able to manage your time and prioritize. I don't know how I left the house. Prioritization is more like your sword, right? You have to do the important things that gives value, right? So you have to be value driven. So if something is not giving value, right? Please, you have to more like deprioritize it and bring something that gives value either to the business or even either to yourself or your knowledge, basically.
Okay.
I watch movies when I'm supposed to, and I hang out when I'm supposed to.
Okay, thank you so much. One more question.
Okay. There's one more question I was about to tell you.
Sorry?
No, I was about to tell you that there's just one last question there.
Yeah, one last question. Do you have to be tech experienced before going into product management? If yes, what kind of tech experience is required? Samuel, did you get that? Hello, Samuel, did you get that?
I think there's something, he's frozen.
It's frozen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Samuel.
Yeah, since he's answered most of the questions, unfortunately, he couldn't take that one. I'd suggest that we just round up because he's been here a while. He got here a lot earlier than everybody else.
Yes.
For me, my biggest take home here was, well, what appealed to me the most was him talking about product managers being customer centric. If you know me well, you know that is, let me borrow Samuel's word, my mantra, to be customer centric. So I really, really liked that. I hope you found this completely valuable. Tai, I'll hand over to you to round up now.
Okay. Sorry, that was my network. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I think I heard Tai's last question. He said, I think the last question was, can you guys hear me though?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So you don't need any technical skill, right? You don't need any technical skill, right? But one advice I would have for anyone that maybe you're looking to transition into product management is focus on one particular aspect of product management. For example, product discovery, right? You can focus on product discovery and become grounded in product discovery. The reason why that is very important is, let's say, for example, I'm working on a product, right? And I need to do continuous product discovery. And I need an associate product manager to come and work with me. And I'm going through CVs. If I realize the fact that you have this keen knowledge of product discovery, right? I would hire you because most product managers are looking for people that they can, more like outsource that part of their job to, right? So it will stand you out apart from someone that is just like more like a generalist, right? Another way you can also get into it, either you are inside a company or maybe you are working with a team and maybe that team just needs someone that should come in and more like work for them, is you can become a software tester, right? You can start from just testing softwares. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just read up on software testing, manual testing, to understand what was designed, right? To correlate what was designed, that is the requirement, to what was actually built, right? Because most of the problems that happens in the software development lifecycle is that the requirement does not match what was delivered at the end of the day. So being a software tester gives you that synergy. You work with literally everybody. You work with the designers, you work with the developers, you work with the product team also, right? So being a software tester kind of puts your leg in, into the door basically, and it helps you to work with everybody and gives an idea of how a software works.
So, yeah, you're so right, Samuel. So Samuel has given you guys tips and different ways to get into product management. If you can't still figure it out, I'm sorry, you're on your own.
No, they're not their own. I'm here.
You're here, right? Okay. That's fantastic.
Here.
So if anyone that has questions, anything you want to ask Samuel, it'd be nice to put it in the community so that others can learn, and we'll forward it to Samuel, and Samuel can, and when Samuel gives an answer, we'll put it in the community. That way other people can learn, and not just a specific number of people. A lot of people couldn't make it because of work and all.
Oh.
Samuel, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
and the book
me.
Samuel recommended, we actually put it in the community a while back.
Oh, okay.
I'll be happy to put it again in the community.
Please do. Please do.
Samuel, thank you so much for being
here.
Thank
you so much, Samuel.
For taking out time and really basically pouring yourself out selflessly. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being here. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody else enjoyed it too. So I'm going to let you go. I know you said you were working.
No. I'm actually okay. I mean, to be honest, right? Please, my DMs is open. Need opportunities, or maybe you're currently at work and maybe you're having like some issues, navigating some few things. Please, my DM is there. Just reach out. We're here to help each other. To be very honest, I mean, I spent 2 years trying to figure out my life at a point. So I don't know. I just feel like we should try as much as possible to help each other more. I'm just a regular person. If you remove me being a PM, I'm just a regular guy, right? Like, I'm just like that guy down your street. So please, my DM is always open. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I heard everything you said. Tai, okay. Are you still there? If you're not, I'm just going to say goodbye, everybody. It was nice having you guys. Hopefully, if we need to do more of this and we need Samuel here, Samuel has already volunteered himself. We will ask him again. So again, Samuel, thank you again. And
thanks for having me.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right, bye, everyone.
Yeah,
have a great
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Harry.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you. Bye.